Hey, we talked about the different kinds of recruiters, and we talked about what recruiters can do for you. And now I'd like to speak a little bit about how to engage a recruiter and how to handle the conversation with a recruiter. First thing you need to do is to be able to get on the recruiter's radar. So how do recruiters find candidates? Well, certainly they use the job boards, although I don't really recommend blasting your resume all over the internet. That is one tool that recruiters use, but realistically, clients aren't paying executive search consultants big fees to find someone whose resume is out on the monster board. They're more likely to try to find those passive candidates. The best way recruiters find candidates is through referrals. We also use social networks. I just put up a Facebook page with my job openings on it, and I'm on Twitter. But really, LinkedIn is the best one. You need to have a LinkedIn presence. LinkedIn is your online resume, okay? And I would recommend taking a LinkedIn course too. Recruiters also do cold calls. They actually call into companies searching for people with specific skills. We call into what we call source companies. And we do trade shows and job fairs and those kinds of things from time to time. And also, if you see a specific opening out there, you can call a recruiter yourself. So those are the different ways that you get on the recruiter's radar and engage them. Now, when you're having that conversation with a recruiter, first, know who you're dealing with. Is it a corporate recruiter? Is it a temporary agency or contract recruiter? Or is it an executive search consultant? That's the first thing you need to ask. If you're calling them about a specific job, let them know that. Remember that recruiters are sizing you up from the minute that conversation starts. They may know a little about your qualifications, but they're trying to find out what is this person's communication skills, what is this person's ability to think on their feet. Recruiter acts as a funnel for the client that they're working on, and there will be maybe many candidates going into the funnel, and only one or two candidates are going to come out of the bottom of that funnel and be presented to the client. So by asking good questions and by knowing your subject matter, if you cannot have a conversation, maybe you're in a cubicle, let the recruiter know that. I'm very interested in speaking with you. Could you call me this evening at 7 o'clock? Yes, we do work evenings. The other thing with the recruiter is be honest with the recruiter. Do not elaborate or pretend that you have skills that you don't have. Be straightforward about what you're looking for. Another great piece of advice is give the recruiter some leads. If you're not a fit for this particular position, if it's not perfect for you, give the recruiter some leads, because believe me, the next time they have an opening that you may be a fit for, they will call you. They remember who helps them. It's like if you go to someone's house for dinner, bring a loaf of bread. Okay? Now, so how to handle the money question. This is always a dilemma for people. And when dealing with a recruiter, I would recommend that you be honest and tell them, give them a range of what you're looking for. You may even tell them what you're making now. It's different when you go to an actual client. You're going to handle that a little bit differently. But with a recruiter, let them know what you're looking for. And if you're making $50,000, don't tell them you're looking to make $150,000. Okay, let's be realistic and let's be honest. Okay, and how often should you call the recruiter? If you're actively looking, maybe once every couple of weeks, ask the recruiter that question. Okay, should you give a recruiter references is another question that people have. I say I would not give them references until after they've told me what the job is, who the job is with, and if it's a good fit. Okay, and that's just my personal opinion. I do know some recruiters who, if you're not a good fit for the position, they'll try to recruit your references. So, kind of keep those a little close to your vest until the time comes. Should you tell a recruiter where else you've interviewed, because they're going to ask, and what you have going on? Well, you need to be honest with them, but also understand that there are some headhunters out there where they'll ask who you've interviewed with, and then they'll go and call that company and present their own people going up against you. So just a word of warning, you may be a little protective about that information. Why don't recruiters tell me who the client is? Another frequently asked question. This recruiter told me about this great opportunity, but they won't tell me who their client is. And it leads people to wonder, is this really an opening? Are they just fishing? Well, you know, why is this recruiter being so mysterious? Well, we just kind of answered that question, because if they tell you who their client is, you may tell other people, you may apply yourself, and remember, they're getting paid on commissions, so they protect that information very carefully. I just want you to understand, if it's a good fit and they're going to submit you, then I would insist that they tell you who it is. In fact, a good rule of thumb when dealing with a recruiter is tell that recruiter, here's the deal. Before you submit my resume to any company, I need to know who that company is. And if they're not willing to agree to that, I would find another recruiter. Okay? So that's why they won't tell you who their client is. Recruiters are also famous for not returning calls. I get, and you may have heard my phone over here, I get probably 75 calls a day, and I just can't return them all. There's a lot of people out there looking for work. Believe me, if I have a job for you, I will find you and I will call you. So don't get frustrated and keep calling every other day, because that kind of makes you look desperate, and you want to be viewed as a person whose head has been hunted, if you will. Okay? Everyone wants to have what they can't have, so try to have that air of being a passive candidate, being a person who's an expert in your field, and try to be the chasee instead of the chaser. Okay? Thank you.